Every single morning, millions of women over the age of 60 wake up battling the exact same problem. Thick, sticky mucus that clings to the throat and refuses to go away. They cough before breakfast. They clear their throat while talking. They feel embarrassed eating in public. And at night, the mucus builds again, stealing their sleep and leaving them exhausted by morning. Most women are told the same thing. It's just aging. Your lungs are getting older. Nothing to worry about. But here's the truth. No one is saying clearly enough. Daily mucus is not a normal part of aging. It is a warning sign. And that warning sign is quietly fueling a trillion-dollar health industry. Cough syrups, nasal sprays, acid blockers, allergy pills, products designed to mute symptoms, not fix causes. Some companies even pay influencers and experts to push quick fixes instead of talking about the real science that could help older women reclaim their breathing naturally. Because when you actually solve the root problem, the repeat purchases stop. But your body is not broken. It is communicating. Chronic mucus is your body waving a red flag, often because of hidden allergies, silent acid reflux, medication side effects, dehydration, immune decline, or airway irritation that no one bothered to explain properly. And here's the good news. Most of these triggers are far simpler to address than you've been led to believe. In this video, we're breaking down the 8 biggest reasons women over 60 cough up mucus every single day, and what actually helps naturally, safely, and realistically. And stay with me, because reason number 4 isn't just research links it to a dramatic rise in serious lung disease after age 65. All studies and sources are listed below for those who want to verify the science. Before we begin, let me ask you something quickly. How old are you? And where are you watching from? Drop it in the comments. I read them like case files. And yes, I respond personally because your stories decide what we cover next. Now, let's get into it. Number 8, postnasal drip from allergies. One of the most common and most ignored reasons older women cough up mucus every day is postnasal drip caused by allergies. Postnasal drip happens when excess mucus from the nose and sinuses flows down the back of the throat instead of out the front like a runny nose. It's silent, constant, irritating, and it triggers an endless need to cough and clear the throat. For women over 60, this problem is often worse because the tissues lining the nose and throat become thinner and less efficient with age. Mucus doesn't move as smoothly. It lingers. And contrary to popular belief, allergies don't disappear as you age. They evolve. Many seniors develop sensitivities later in life to dust, mites, pet, dander, mold, or even pollens that never bothered them before. A major study published in the Journal of Allergy and Clinical Immunology found that nearly 30% of adults over 60 develop latent set allergies. But here's the twist. In older adults, allergies often don't show up as sneezing or itchy eyes. They show up as coughing and thick phlegm. Because the symptoms look different, doctors often mislabel it as a smoker's cough or aging lungs. Martha, 73, spent months waking up every morning, hacking and clearing her throat. She assumed it was permanent, but testing revealed a simple dust allergy. After adding a HEPA filter to her bedroom and using nightly saline rinses, her morning mucus dropped dramatically. Her lungs weren't failing. Her body was reacting. Natural strategies like saline nasal rinses, air filtration, reducing bedroom dust, and even cutting back on dairy, which can thicken secretions for some people, often bring real relief. Yet too many women suffered quietly, convinced that morning coughing is just part of getting older. And while allergies fuel mucus from above, the next cause creates it from within. Number 7, chronic acid reflux. Another powerful but hidden reason older women cough up mucus every day is chronic acid reflux, also called GERD. Most people think reflux equals heartburn, but in seniors, it often looks completely different. Instead of chest burning, stomach acid creeps upward at night, silently irritating the throat and airways. The body responds defensively by producing thick mucus to protect delicate tissues from acid damage. That's why so many women over 60 wake up coughing and spitting up phlegm, even if they never feel heartburn. Judith, 70, avoided dinners with friends because she couldn't stop clearing her throat after meals. She thought her age was catching up with her, but her doctor explained that acid was rising while she slept, coating her throat and triggering mucus production. By eating smaller evening meals, avoiding late-night coffee, and slightly elevating the head of her bed, her morning cough began fading within weeks. The science is straightforward. Stomach acid is meant for food, not airways. Even small amounts, splashing, upward trigger inflammation, and inflammation signals mucus production. Night after night, the cycle repeats. Acid at night, mucus in the morning. Natural approaches can make a massive difference. Smaller dinners, avoiding spicy or acidic foods late in the day, sipping soothing teas like chamomile, and elevating the upper body during sleep. For many seniors, these adjustments reduce mucus without heavy medication. But while reflux irritates from below, the next cause comes from an unexpected place. The medicine cabinet. Number 6. Side effects of common medications for countless older women. Chronic coughing and mucus don't start in the lungs at all. They start in the as prescriptions multiply with age. So do side effects. Blood pressure, drugs, heart medications, cholesterol pills, even common over-the-counter treatments can quietly trigger chronic cough and phlegm. One of the most well-documented examples is ACE inhibitors, widely prescribed for high blood pressure. Research in the New England Journal of Medicine shows that up to 20% of patients on these drugs develop persistent cough, often with throat irritation and mucus. These medications increase levels of a compound called bradykinin, which inflames the airways and stimulates mucus production. Older women are twice as likely as men to experience this effect. Yet, the connection is often missed. Instead of identifying the trigger, cough syrups and antihistamines are added masking symptoms while the real cause continues. If coughing and mucus began after a new prescription, it's critical to discuss it openly with a doctor. Sometimes, a small adjustment or alternative medication resolves the issue entirely. Hydration and soothing teas may ease symptoms temporarily, but identifying the source is the key. And while medications can quietly create mucus, the next cause leaves deeper scars, sometimes decades after the damage occurred. Number 5. Smoking or past lung damage for many older women. Daily coughing and thick phlegm are echoes of the past. Smoking, even decades ago, leaves permanent changes in the lungs. The tiny hair-like structures called cilia, responsible for sweeping mucus out of the airways, are damaged by smoke, pollution, and chemical exposure. Once weakened, they don't fully recover. The body compensates by producing more mucus, hoping coughing will do what the cilia no longer can. That's why women who smoked in their 20s or 30s often still cough in their 60s and 70s, even if they quit long ago. Carol, 72, quit smoking 20 years earlier and felt proud of her progress. But every morning, she still coughed up thick phlegm. Her doctor explained that, while quitting, saved her life. The damage to her cilia meant her lungs relied on mucus as a constant cleaning mechanism. The past lingers. Natural strategies still help hydration to thin mucus, breathing exercises to improve airflow, antioxidant-rich drinks to reduce inflammation. Pulmonary rehab programs can significantly improve quality of life even years after quitting, and while past lung damage leaves lasting effects. The next reason behind daily mucus is far more dangerous, because it signals ongoing disease rather than old scars. Number 4, chronic bronchitis, or COPD. When an older woman wakes up every day coughing up mucus, one of the most serious possibilities is chronic bronchitis, or COPD. These conditions don't appear overnight. They develop slowly after years of irritation from smoke, pollution, or repeated infections. Chronic bronchitis is defined by a productive cough, most days for at least 3 months, and it often returns year after year. By the time many women recognize the pattern, the condition is already established. Helen believed her cough was seasonal allergies. But when the mucus never stopped spring, summer, or travel, her doctor diagnosed chronic bronchitis. In these conditions, the airways are inflamed and scarred, the cilia are damaged, mucus floods the lungs as the only remaining defense. This leads to a relentless cycle of coughing, breathlessness, and worsening lung function. While damage can't be reversed, lifestyle changes, hydration, breathing techniques, anti-inflammatory foods, and pulmonary rehabilitation can significantly reduce symptoms and slow progression. And while chronic bronchitis represents long-term structural damage, the next cause of daily mucus is far more subtle, yet incredibly common. It doesn't come from disease. It comes from something most seniors don't realize they're missing. It doesn't come from disease. It doesn't come from infection. And most women never suspect it. Yet, it is one of the most common reasons mucus becomes sticky, and impossible to clear after 60. Number 3. Dehydration that thickens mucus. Sometimes, the reason older women cough up mucus every single day. T, because something is wrong. S, because something essential is missing. Water? As the body ages, its relationship with hydration changes in quiet but powerful ways. Thirst signals weaken. Kidneys become less efficient at conserving fluids. And many medications, especially diuretics, blood pressure drugs, and laxatives, pull water out of the body without seniors realizing it. The result is widespread, chronic dehydration. And when the body doesn't have enough water, mucus changes its texture. Mucus is supposed to be thin, slippery, and easy to move. It protects the airways by trapping dust and microbes, then clearing them out smoothly. But when hydration drops, the water content of mucus drops with it, leaving behind a thick, glue-like substance that clings to the throat and lungs. That sticky mucus is harder to clear, so the body coughs harder. The coughing irritates the airway lining. That irritation triggers even more mucus, and soon, mornings become a daily battle. The mechanism is simple but overlooked. Less water equals thicker secretions equal more coughing. This is why so many older women notice their mucus is worst in the morning after hours without fluids during sleep. The solution sounds almost too basic, which is why it's often dismissed. But consistent hydration throughout the day can dramatically change mucus thickness. Not chugging water all at once, but steady sipping. Adding hydrating foods like cucumbers, oranges, soups, and berries. Limiting dehydrating drinks like alcohol and excess caffeine. Warm herbal teas in the evening can be especially helpful, gently thinning secretions before bed and reducing morning congestion. And while dehydration quietly thickens mucus, the next cause keeps mucus flowing for a very different reason, because the body S defenses themselves are weakening. Number 2, a weakened immune system after 60. One of the most frustrating realities of aging is that the immune system no longer responds the way it once did. After 60, the body enters a phase doctors call immunosenescence, the gradual decline of immune function over time. This doesn't mean seniors are always sick. It means infections, irritants, and inflammation linger longer. Instead of quickly clearing bacteria or viruses from the throat and lungs, the immune system struggles. Mucus becomes the body's backup defense, trapping threats and trying to flush them out mechanically. That's why so many older women complain of phlegm that never seems to disappear, even when they aren't actively ill. Research published in the Journal of Clinical Investigation shows that older adults produce fewer infection-fighting T cells, and the ones they do produce respond more slowly. At the same time, chronic low-grade inflammation, sometimes called more inflammation, constant mucus production. This is also why respiratory infections hit seniors harder and last longer. What would clear in days for a younger person can linger for weeks, leaving behind persistent coughing and congestion. The good news is that immune function is not fixed. It can be supported. Nutrient-dense foods, rich in vitamin C, zinc, and antioxidants, provide the raw materials immune cells need. Regular movement improves circulation, helping immune cells travel where they're needed. Sleep, often underestimated in older adults, is critical for immune repair and regulation. Even gut health plays a role. Probiotics from yogurt or supplements help balance intestinal bacteria, which directly influences respiratory immunity through immune signaling pathways. Strengthening the immune system doesn't eliminate mucus overnight, but it reduces how often the body needs to rely on it as a defense. And yet, even with good hydration and immune support, there is one cause of daily mucus that stands above all others in danger because it often goes undiagnosed until real damage has already occurred. Number 1, undiagnosed sleep apnea or hidden lung infections. At the top of the list, the most overlooked and potentially dangerous reason older women cough up mucus every single day is undiagnosed sleep apnea or chronic low-grade lung infections. These conditions are far more common in seniors than most people realize, and both quietly inflame the airways night after night, flooding the body with mucus as a survival response. Sleep apnea occurs when the airway collapses repeatedly during sleep, cutting off breathing dozens of times per hour. Each pause forces the body into stress mode. Oxygen drops, inflammation resists, airway tissues swell. To protect itself, the body increases mucus production, coating the airway in an attempt to keep it open and reduce damage. Here's what makes this especially dangerous for women over 60. Many women do not experience classic loud snoring. Instead, they develop silent sleep apnea, marked by shallow breathing, micro-awakenings, and chronic airway irritation. Morning mucus and coughing become one of the earliest warning signs. A major study in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that nearly 30% of women over 65 have undiagnosed sleep apnea, many presenting not with fatigue, but with chronic cough and phlegm. Their lungs are struggling every night, and mucus is the body's last defense. Hidden lung infections can have a similar effect. Low-level bacterial or fungal infections may simmer for months without obvious fever or pain. The immune system keeps trying to contain them, producing mucus continuously to trap pathogens. Margaret, 72, believed her wet morning cough was just part of aging, but a sleep study revealed moderate sleep apnea and imaging uncovered a lingering lung infection. Once treated, her mucus production finally slowed and her energy returned. What she thought was normal aging was actually a dangerous combination, silently draining her health. Natural support cannot replace medical care in these cases. But it does matter. Hydration, immune support, elevated sleeping position, and reducing airway irritation can ease strain. But persistent mucus that doesn't respond to simple measures should never be ignored. Because sleep apnea and hidden infections don't just cause mucus, they increase the risk of heart disease, hospitalization, and permanent lung damage. Recognizing this connection early can change the entire trajectory of health after 60. And when you step back and look at all 8 causes together, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. Mucus is never just old age. From hidden allergies and silent reflux, to medication, side effects, and dehydration, to immune decline and airway collapse during sleep. Mucus is an alarm system. The body doesn't produce it without reason. Ignoring it doesn't make it disappear. Understanding it and responding correctly is what restores comfort, breathing, and confidence. When you look at all 8 causes side by side, one message becomes impossible to ignore. Mucus is never random. It is never meaningless. And it is never just aging. It is the body's last loud signal that something underneath needs attention. For decades, older women have been told to accept discomfort quietly, to normalize coughing, to excuse throat clearing, to tolerate poor sleep and shallow breathing. as the price of growing older. But biology tells a very different story. Your airways are not designed to be clogged. Your lungs are not meant to struggle. And your body does not create mucus without a reason. Let's step back and connect the full picture. Postnasal drip from latent set allergies sends mucus downward from above. Silent acid reflux coats the throat from below. Medications quietly irritate airways day after day. Past smoking or environmental exposure leaves permanent scars that force the lungs to overcome chronic bronchitis and COPD, inflame and narrow the airways themselves. Dehydration thickens what should be fluid and mobile. Immune decline forces mucus to act as a substitute defense, and undiagnosed sleep apnea or hidden infections suffocate the lungs night after night. Different sources, same response. Mucus. This is why suppressing symptoms never works long-term. Cough syrups don't fix reflux. Nasal sprays don't reverse dehydration. Pills don't restore immune balance. They simply quiet the alarm while the fire continues to burn. And that is exactly what the trillion-dollar health industry depends on. Quick fixes, repeat purchases, lifelong customers. Because there's no profit in teaching people how to listen to their body. But when older women understand what their mucus is actually signaling, everything changes. Relief stops being random. Solutions stop being confusing. And control comes back into your hands. That doesn't mean every cause can be reversed. Some conditions leave scars. Some require medical care. But even then, awareness transforms outcomes. Managing triggers slows decline. Supporting the body reduces small changes compound into meaningful breathing improvements. And most importantly, suffering stops feeling inevitable. This is why persistent mucus should never be ignored, especially when it shows up every morning, disrupts sleep, or interferes with daily life. Because behind that mucus is often a condition that can still be improved, managed, or treated if it's recognized early enough. Now, I want to hear from you. How old are you? And what is the biggest mucus or coughing struggle you're dealing with right now? Is it mornings? After meals? At night? Or all day long? Drop it in the comments. I read every story, not as data points, but as real lives. And yes, I reply, because what you share shapes what we cover next. This channel isn't about fear. It isn't about selling supplements. And it isn't about pretending aging doesn't exist. It's about giving seniors clear, science-backed explanations they were never offered, so they can make informed choices instead of silent sacrifices. If this video helps you understand your body better, share it with a friend, a sister, or a mother who may be struggling quietly. Subscribe for more evidence-based health guidance designed for real life after 60. Not trends, not hype, not marketing. Because the truth is simple. Aging is inevitable. Decline is not. Your lungs still have strength. Your airways still have resilience. And your body still has a voice. Daily mucus is not your enemy. It is your message. And once you understand the message, you can finally take back your breath, your sleep, and your independence starting tonight.